Hello everyone and welcome to LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the finale of Season 11 for the F1 World Championship. We're in Austria and we're with this man's home race, the Austrian Grand Prix. PJ on board right now. We'll see what he can do. It's intermediate conditions at the moment, but it's going to dry up soon, so he might just go straight back into the pit lane. We will have a look, but no, he is going to continue, and we will get to see an inter-run. As you can see, the track is slowly getting drier. There's a kind of more matte finish to the circuit. There's also no raindrops falling down. Go to the first corner. Riding the inside curve, which you should be doing in this game compared to previous games where you would go a little bit wide. You can see the gravel trap on the left hand side. Nipperjan might take a trip over there later. We'll have to wait and see. And up the hill they go into the hairpin, turn 3, try and get the car as straight as possible and then put the throttle down. You have to really try and fight it hard. You can see that the tyres are probably getting a little bit hotter than they should do. They're going to be slightly out of operating window as the circuit dries up. Not slow at all, but they will slowly start to get a little bit worse, and we will see some people come out on the soft tyres within the next probably minute, I would say, because it does seem to be drying up fairly quickly. You can really see the squirms, the struggles, riding the inside curve interestingly, really trying to risk that. Will they complete the lap, or are they going to just back off? They are going to complete the lap. DRS is now enabled, and that is, as you can see, the tyres, with the circuit drying out. When he gets DRS, he will get DRS to finish off the lap. What's it going to be for PJ? It'll be a P3 for now, and now we will wait for the first runners on the soft tyre. Who will that be? Currently PJ is the only man on track, or woman, whatever you want to be, and then we'll see what can happen. 8 minutes on the clock, not too long to go, enough for about 3 runs to be honest in Austria, maybe 2, but we don't know what people are going to do tyre wise. We shouldn't get a lobby restart, and it is going to be dry for the race. So you do have a great opportunity to save a set of softer compound tyres. In these conditions, it does, however, mean that you've got to nail the lap later on into the session, because you're only going to get a few opportunities on that softer compound. I do correct myself, it is going to be about 2 laps. I don't reckon there's going to be any time for that now. Or any more, sorry. As you can see, Peanuts and Tom Brainer are both on their way out already. You do need to try and get in as early as possible, even though you can see the circuit is very slightly greasy. I think it is better to at least have a shot now and then go again later than only have one shot if you wait for so long. So these guys are giving themselves their best chance at looking for pole position. You can see Zingy, Nipperjan, Heisler, Tauschhoffman, Rulaton all not qualifying today. So it does give up others opportunities to jump up to the top spot, and that is how the game goes. You're going to get pole no matter the situation, and you do deserve it. Tom Brainer into the final corners now, and he will start qualifying on the soft tyre now. He had a really good race back in Belgium, but unfortunately it was kind of cut short. He has great pace. Can he show good pace this weekend as well? It would be phenomenal. Very nice turn 1. That was very tidy indeed. He will be, as long as he sets a valid lap, going provisional pole, because it is going to be the first dry lap, of course, up by 8/10. Really had confidence in that first corner, and on the second corner it's not too bad at all, fairly tidy. And he'll go down towards turn 4, very hard braking zone. It goes downhill, so the tyres do drop away from you a little bit. Very easy to lock up those tyres and run away with the camber of the corner now, going slightly right, minimise track distance, bring it back to the right hand side to open up, and keeping a minimum speed as high as possible. Stay down to 5th actually, usually you stay in 6th, but they decide to go into 5th gear, and now we've got the final 2 corners to go. High downforce, the slowest corners on the circuit, you could argue. I say that, they're probably the fastest corners I should say, never mind. Out the final corner, DRS available for Tom Brainer. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 6.7. Track is still greasy, but that isn't bad at all. Very tidy. That is Peanuts, who's going to immediately take it. A 5.7 for him. And then we have Igor, who is going to come round and set a lap very, very soon. We'll have a look and see what he can do. And the Aston Martin, will he look for pole position? Pursoon and PJ, followed by Dave Raptors, all on the intermediate conditions. That is PJ just slotting on that soft tyre. Igor purple in the middle sector. Can he look for provisional pole? Over Peanuts, over Becken, over Tom Brainer. I think he definitely has a good chance of it. Out the final corner, DRS available for the final time. But what's it going to be? It's going to be a P2 in the end by such a small margin. Igor just misses out on Peanuts there. A very, very good effort. He's still got one more run to go. So they've done a good job in the timings. It does look like there are a lot of cars not out yet. They're still staying in the pit lane, interestingly, which I don't really understand why. We have got PJ, who's on his way out to set his soft run, but I don't think he's going to get another run, unfortunately. I think this is probably going to be his only run on the soft tyres with 4 minutes to go. To get back in and back out, you would have to really push it, and I don't think you'd optimise your tyre warm-up on your out lap for your second run, so it's probably not worth trying to rush it. You can just work the tyres in, ready for this final shot. Track is not greasy anymore, it's pretty dry, so it'll be absolutely no problem whatsoever. Igor pulls to the right hand side, as you should do, to enter the pit lane. Lovely jubbly indeed. He knows the rules, and that'll be his run done for the minute. He'll be back soon. We've got PJ, who was out earlier on. He got the fast time on the, well, P3 actually. He was on the Inters just a moment ago. He's now on the faster rubber. You can see the lovely little blue and pink rims on the side, but now we've got to focus on the lap. Once again, on board with the Austrian. Can he get a good result at his home race? He is not feeling too well this weekend, so we wish him all the best and a quick recovery. He's still going to try and give it a shot, so anything that he does is absolutely incredible. Fair play, PJ, for coming along and at least giving it a shot. COVID's not easy to deal with. Up the hill now, towards turn 3, daunting corner, heavy braking zone, easy to lock up. Be careful on the curb. You can see there's a slight bit of locking up, but not too much, not enough to really be a problem. They get that lovely rotation, mid-apex, down the hill now we go. Very easy to get it wrong. That gravel looks so inviting, making a very constant line to gap to the apex, but they don't quite tuck in and touch it. Pursoon's on an outlap there, ready to go. That is going to be, once again, a hefty touch of the inside curve. They're really trying to risk it again and again and again. Might make the car a little bit unstable, so they might have had to lift, but they seem to be fairly confident in riding those curves. Final few corners now. Absolutely sending it, spamming down the gears to use the engine braking. DRS available. What's it going to be? And it's going to be a pole position, a 4.5 here from PJ. That is perfect from him. Pursoon, he's on his way to try and compete against that, really trying to drag those brakes and warm those tyres up as much as he can. He knows exactly what to do, and he's getting the job done. And then we will go for Pursoon's final run, 1 minute and 30 on the clock. If he needed to, he could back off on this lap and go again, but hopefully for his sake he does not need to do that. Final few corners now, and down the power goes and across the timing beam. Here we go, turn 1. What's it going to be for Pursoon? Will he get a tidy first corner? It's okay, it's tidy, but didn't quite cut the inside curve, so lost out on a lot of time there. Maybe he's just going to try and get a clean lap in rather than go for absolute glory. We know he's got pace in that car, using a lot on entry, really trying to make up for their kind of loss in the first corner, maybe, I guess. I don't quite know. Tucking to the right hand side, then back to the left hand side to minimise that track distance, over the curb on the entry, open up the corner, get the rotation. That was a little bit interesting, a very aggressive turn in there from the Alfa Romeo, and now we go into the double left-hander. Slight bit of understeer on entry. On exit they managed to keep it together. And on to the second left-hander. It's a heavy car, and they do unfortunately validate. They're going to have to go again, but they're not going to have time to save any energy, unfortunately. They're going to do their best to save as much as they can for this final time, but I don't think it's going to work out for them, unfortunately. We're going to go on board with, that's actually Peanuts who we're going to go on board with, who's currently on their final run during qualifying in the car of George Russell running the blue halo. I shouldn't say George Russell, they are Peanuts, they are them. They're going for pole position. Will they be able to get it? Purple middle sector, as you can see. Final 2 corners to go. They've had pole many times in F1.5 this season. Can they show their run, keep it going? Almost invalid at that final corner. DRS, and it's a 4.0. Half a second in front of PJ. That is very strong indeed. We've got Egapro here. We've got many more people crossing the line. We've got Beckham, who just invalidates right at the end there. What a shame. PJ for the final time, and it is going to be an improvement, but not enough in the end. We've got Tom Brainer, and he goes P4, and Egapro, what can he do as he crosses the line for the final time? It is going to stay as it is, a 4.4 in the end. We've got Dave Raptors, who might be able to give it a shot. And he will go pole position, a 3.7, 3 tenths improvement. I don't think Pursoon's going to be able to find an improvement. Unfortunately, they retire, and Dave Raptors, 1 lap in the end that was valid, and he's actually gone and got pole. Fair play indeed. A 3.7 isn't too bad for the conditions that we ran. That is Dave Raptors on pole position, Peanuts in P2 and PJ in P3. That's the rest of the grid. We'll go through the race director just in case, and then we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn 1? We are finally away. There you go. And that is a brilliant start from the Mercedes on the inside. Can Peanuts go to turn 1 and into P1? Dave Raptors swings to the right and goes right around the outside. Swoops it. Perfect job from him. Everybody else switching up behind. No one's round, but it is a massive melee into turn 3. Who's going to come out on top? It's 3 wide between many of the cars. That is the Haas. Almost butting into the back of the other cars. The Williams. That's Korsman. Almost going into the back of the other cars as well. Ruleton in P6 at the moment. A drag race with Egapro. Egapro comes out ahead for now, but to the inside line will be the Ferrari. Doesn't plough into the car in front. There is a car off in the background that looks like it's Nifojan, unfortunately, taking a trip to the gravel. It wasn't turn 2, but it was in the end turn 4, and that's a massive shunt. That was Tom Brainer, and I don't know who else was involved with that one. There's massive damage from somebody. We'll have a quick look further behind the order. but that is not what we want to see. That looks like it is Zingy who was in the wall, and he's lucky to still be in this race. Only a virtual safety car is deployed, and now many cars are having to come in. That's interestingly Heischler going into the pit lane. Not entirely sure what happened to them, but they must have had some sort of issue. They might have damage. Tom Brainer is also, I assume, going to have to come into the pit lane. So they all crawl in. That is going to be a front wing change from Heischler, so he has got some damage at some point. The top two, though, they stay as they are. Dave Raptors. PJ, unfortunately, cutting the corner, and what happened there with PJ, I don't understand. He's got a drive-through, he's got damage, he completely cut the corner, and now, yeah, that's a very interesting one. We've unfortunately got a disconnect, we've got to send to the inside. Is that FICO on PJ? PJ's just going to slowly drop down the order as he cannot compete with the damage that he's got. He's trying his best to hold it to the inside. He understeers, and that is going to be an unfortunate tap around for him as he goes further down the field. That is such a shame there for PJ. I don't understand what happened. He almost absolutely ruined somebody's day into turn 3, but he just about avoided it, I guess. Very interesting indeed. That is actually going to be Becken. Peanuts, no, Peanuts is into the pit lane. Peanuts is into the pit lane after that, so maybe there was contact with him and PJ. I'm not entirely sure. That is Korsman getting fastest lap, and that is Peanuts. No, Peanuts got the drive-through. I thought it was PJ. It's Peanuts who got the drive-through, so that promotes Dave Raptors a little bit further into the lead. I was going to say that, but actually Becken is still quite close. We've got Rillaton who's going to look at going for the move already, though, and they might even have a go for P1. No, they're still going to stay behind, so they're doing a phenomenal job. We've got the other Ferrari of FICO making a move on Korsman, and the Ferraris are looking for a 1-2. If they can get that, it would be great to see. For sure, we haven't seen a Ferrari 1-2 for a long time in LSI. I don't know if you'd even have to go back to Season 2 to find that. I'm not entirely sure if Mr. Afor and Chris Gitsov managed to do that, so I think you would have to go back to the days of Igor and Lil Light in Ferrari. Anyway, away from that, we need to focus on this. Dave Raptors leads the way, Rillaton goes fastest, FICO immediately follows, and Pursoon then goes for fastest lap. That's unfortunately Nifo leaving the session, and their AI is retired. That is another bug. That is a switch up for the lead. That is Rillaton through. That is not going to be Becken following across. They're just going to stay as they are, but that is such a shame to see Nifo's race done out of nothing but a game bug. They could not control that. That is such a shame, and it's another thing that ruins people's races. I don't know what to say. I'm very, very sorry for going off topic a little bit there, but it happens all the time. It can't happen. We continue with the top three. They're running away a little bit. They've got a slight gap to FICO, although FICO is bringing it slowly back. The biggest gap furthest up the field is Peanuts, who has made a pit stop. That is Igor, who has just lost out to DRS range from Pursoon. So I don't think they got it. No, they did miss out in the end. So they're going to have to sit behind and just wait and hope that maybe the cars in front battle. But other than that, it's a P1 to P6 train of cars. They're doing a very, very good job at the moment. I don't know what the tyre strategy is going to be for the other cars who have had their issues, of course. So we're going to go and look at what their tyre situation will be, because they're going to have to look at some sort of severe undercut. That is Zingy and Heischler all on the medium tyres, and we've got Tom Brainer on the hards. That is Zingy and Heischler actually switching positions as Zingy goes in front, or is it Heischler just going in front? I don't know. Anyway, they are on the medium tyre, interestingly. They're going to go for, I guess, a medium and then a soft at the end of the race, or just a double medium. Maybe they started on the hard so they can do this double medium. It's their best bet whatsoever. Are they working together? That's the question. It looks like it at turn 4 they are, but turn 3 it didn't look quite the same, as Zingy was going slightly defensive. The top 3 stay as they are. Ruleton is on the medium tyre. Everybody else right in the train are on the hards. FICO's dropped away from DRS range. They might just have it. I think they do in the background. You can see, but Tyres Courseman does not so. Pursoon is going to be able to catch up and have a bit of a free drag along to be able to maybe have a look at making a move on Courseman, but he hasn't got DRS himself. He does have it now though, so 6/10, you'll see that breakaway, or close up I should say, a little bit more lap after lap, and then Pursoon might have a go at making that move. But yeah, the closest car is FICO, and that is going to be the top 4 pretty much running away with it. A circuit like this, the DRS train is massive, and it's very hard to compete if you're not part of it. That is Zingy and Heischler switching positions again, so they are trying to work together here as a little DRS train, switching it up as much as they can to help each other not lose any unnecessary speed. Heischler tucks in, and Zingy continues for this lap. Does make a bit of a mistake, unfortunately, but still, he does have the advantage. He is ahead, and he will maintain that position. So these guys trying their best to catch up and make the best out of a bad situation, but 16 seconds behind P8, who's also made a pit stop. That is absolutely massive. Of course, Peanuts was only a drive-through, so it's not as bad as it seems, but it is still a pretty big gap. P1, P2, splitting away a little bit from P3 and P4. Becker needs to try and pick up the pace if he wants to stay in the train. Lap 7 out of 36. It's short laps around this circuit, so you will run out of time pretty quickly if you're not careful. It is a game of patience. It's a game of brains around this circuit, timing the DRS zones to perfection, but it can trick you out. You can lose count very, very easily. As you saw in qualifying, we're getting about 1 minute 3 second lap times, 1 minute 4 second lap times. That's how quick it does go by. That was probably a track limit warning there from the Mercedes of Becken. So those tyres getting slightly older now, and maybe trying to push even harder than ever to make sure that they stay within DRS range, and that can sometimes push you a little bit too far and you'll go over the limit, getting yourself a track limit warning. He's got enough DRS. That is going to be Dave Raptors. He's not going to challenge to the inside. He's just going to let Ruleton stay in front for the moment. I guess he probably knows that Ruleton's on the medium side, in the middle section he's going to be faster, so there's no point. That is going to be FICO. Slightly to the inside, interestingly. I'm not entirely sure what their plan was there. Courseman isn't going to be able to have a go back at Pursoon, but they have switched positions. Very, very aggressive riding from Pursoon on the inside curve, but these guys running away a little bit. Apparently, Courseman is on a default setup by accident. I'm not entirely sure if they are or not. But that's going to be Pursoon round. That is very, very awkward timing. Pursoon is unfortunately round, and that is going to be the DRS gone for Courseman, so it's going to be even harder for him to catch up to the cars in front, if not catch up, just maintain the gap. Pursoon still stays in this race, doesn't have damage, just a little bit of pride is damaged, and some pretty hot tyres, I'm sure, around this circuit. Hot tyres are not a good thing, because it is massive traction zones, which you really need good tyre temps for. But he will continue. Hopefully he can relax a little bit, let those tyres cool, and then come back a little bit later on, but it's not going to be easy. He is only 2.8 seconds away from Peanuts, so effectively a spin is almost like a drive-through penalty, and Peanuts has now caught even more because those tyres are really pretty hot. You could see in the braking zone locking up the rears a little bit. Not easy whatsoever. Don't spin. FICO running behind. They are last in the train. Becken, he did what we were saying. He caught up Dave Raptors. He's not far away either. He is controlling in P2. Of course, he controls P3, P4. And sitting in P2, if you don't go for an overtake, you do squish up P3 a little bit, which we might see right here as we're talking about it, because FICO used a bit of energy. Really, though, Becken realised that it was going to happen. Dave Raptors knows what he wants to do. He wants to defend from the cars behind, but stay with Ruleton, but not overtake, which is so hard to get right. It's so hard to judge sometimes. You can get some people that really want to try and push through. This is going to be Dave Raptor's chance to push through, though. Himself, he will make that move. Lap 9 old tyres on the hards. He wants to try and get in front now and see if he can focus on his pace with that tyre. Can he break away? Can he use this as an advantage? Will Ruleton start to drop off, try and defend from the cars behind, and then create a gap? Or will Dave Raptors just be kind of holding on as usual? Because DRS is so powerful, it kind of takes away the need for tyres. Not massively, of course, because tyres are still important. You still have an advantage and a disadvantage to what you're on. But it is definitely dumbed down. You can go a lot longer if you've got DRS because your tyre deficit doesn't matter as much as it usually would do. Now, that is a big mistake there, and you can see Ruleton is going to go through immediately. Dave Raptors P3 now. Beckon's going to go for the lead. He's got the inside line. He's not going to get it. Pursoon retires in the pit lane, and that is going to be Ruleton leading the way out the third corner. Dave Raptors once again finds himself in P2. And that is going to stay as it is, just about. Everybody slots into one. They look to the inside. They pull all simultaneously to the right-hand side. That is going to be FICO very close to the Mercedes, but they will not go for the overtake. Further behind, everybody is pretty much split up. They're staying where they are. And it doesn't look like we're going to get too many overtakes with anybody further. We will have a look at maybe strategy later on, of course. We do have the obvious Zingy and Heisler duo trying to work together with their tyres. Will they get the undercut? I think they will probably get some sort of undercut, but whether it's going to be good enough to come back later on, I do not know. I think they might need a safety car in this race. Ruleton leads the way, looking for another win in LSI if they can possibly get it. Driving as a reserve for the Ferrari team. Dave Raptors hunts him down. Going to go slightly to the outside line, just indicate that he's not going to attempt an overtake on Ruleton, so he doesn't need to defend. FICO dropping away slightly from Beckon, and that does mean he's going to be trying to push back up again. Maybe have to use a bit of energy if he's going to do that. When you are in P4, it doesn't give you as much luxury to save ERS because you've got every car in front of you also having DRS to help them save DRS, so you do have to push a little bit. It just cancels it out. There's so much to go on when you're following another car. It's a lot harder than you actually think. The downforce level changes, the characteristics of the car changes, the deployment changes, the speed changes. You've got to adjust your braking point. You can't brake so late that you crash into the car in front. It's all very, very difficult. Tyres can be different from driver to driver, not only compound but also what their driving style is and how much they go through their tyres. It's all a lot to think about. And they stay as they are. Ruleton controller player, Dave Raptors on a wheel. They are two different kinds of drivers. Of course, traction zones are advantageous to a controller player. The corners are where it is made for the wheel guys. But Ruleton's not bad at either of them, despite being on a controller. Dave Raptor's not bad at all. You can see he is holding on nicely. But the corners are still pro Ruleton. Would that be up to setup? Would that be up to tyres? The tyres are starting to get a little bit older now, so I think we'll expect them to drop down a little bit within the next few laps. That is going to be Beckon going off the circuit, unfortunately getting another track limit warning, so that is going to bite them later on. That being said, though, I've seen quite a few people go over track limits, so we are likely to see other people also struggle. Will Dave Raptors try and go for the move at some point soon? Doesn't look like it. He doesn't want to. The pit stops will come within the next few laps, so I think we might see maybe a overtake on lap 16 to 18. That is generally, I believe, the time that you want to do it. That being said, I think you might extend to a lap 20 on the hard tyre. So Ruleton probably will have pitted by the time we get to that stage. running as we are. Rulaton still not going into the pit lane. As we will continue the Austrian Grand Prix. Lap 15 out of 36 has started, and for the second time in a row, Dave Raptors goes over track limits. So if he does that one more time, he is going to be getting himself a penalty. Unless he's managed to do some sneaky tactic to avoid it, he is in big trouble. We've got FICO yet again very close to the back of the Mercedes. Is this their time to try and have a go at making a move? No, they will not still. Just let this go, and they will relax, but not for long. They're going to try and completely make my point invalid. They're going to use all the energy they possibly can to try and come back at Becken, but no, Becken's got the energy. He does leave the door open slightly on the outside. That's going to allow the switchback to come available, but he doesn't have the energy to deploy. Becken moves to the racing line. He's going to stay as he is, but he makes a mistake as he goes very deep into the corner, just about holds on. Very well defended from Becken. He's got all the supplements to help him out, and unfortunately for FICO, losing the car a little bit as he pushes even harder. Once you've got no energy, you've got to absolutely drive to the limit. Driving to the limit he does, and gets himself a 3 seconds. So, you know, it definitely shows. If you fight too hard at a circuit like this, you are going to drain yourself out very quickly, very easily. That is a big mistake there, though, from Becken. He will have had a track limit warning for that one. A big moment caused him to lose out quite a bit. And there you go. You see, ooh, a look to the inside. Becken trying to catch up, but it's not going to be so simple. He can't quite have a go on the top two, because if he does try to go for a move on Dave Raptors can simply push and then have a look at going for a move on Rulaton. Got to be careful though. If you are going to get attacked from the car behind, you still got to focus on the main goal, which is the cars ahead. And it's not so easy, so sometimes you just have to let a position go. That being said, Becken hasn't really been in a position that he needs to do that, of course. Very close to track limits. You can see Rulaton literally running on top of the white line. So pushing to the absolute limit, doing a good job of staying out of track, or within track limits, I should say. Obviously, in the past, we've seen them go pretty over the top on receiving time penalties, but this time they managed to get it working well. That's Dave Raptors going for the lead as he now sees the pit stops coming in. He knows that he needs to try and be in front. That is going to be Rulaton getting DRS though, as he broke early enough. They were side by side, so it's legal. He'll get back through, and that will be a pointless overtake there for Dave Raptors. Dave maybe didn't quite think that one through. Unfortunately, planned it a little bit wrong. And that being said, he's got a lot of energy to deploy still, so he didn't use much in that overtake attempt. So I think he's got a bit more pace in that car, and he can continue to push. Will Rulaton take this as an opportunity to make a pit stop? Will he try? Yes, he will. He pulls to the right-hand side, so that's going to indicate he is going to go into the pit lane. Dave Raptors is going to follow on, and he will do exactly the same thing. That is going to be the other two staying out. FICO didn't have a choice. Becken decided he wanted to do it anyway, and somehow Dave Raptors did not speed into the pit lane. That was very on the limit. Dave Raptors, well done indeed, my friend, into the pit box for the Williams crew. Onto that medium tyre, and he'll be good to go. Rulaton is going to be slower right now. They will be faster later on. Dave Raptors is going to have to make sure that he gets in front as soon as possible. But that being said, it's not going to be that easy. With the DRS, of course, as we said, that is Becken and FICO switching positions. These guys can't afford to fight too much. They've got to switch, but other than that, they've got to play ball. Otherwise, they will lose out. I don't know if they'll want to extend another lap or not, as they try to overcut the other cars. Will FICO immediately respond? I think these guys are probably going to do the safe bet and immediately respond. That being said, they do have time penalties, so it might be an idea to maybe stay out, but no, they're just going to try and secure the positions over the cars behind that have already made pit stops, of course, so that's fair enough indeed. And that is both of these guys into the pit lane. FICO almost speeding. Also Becken sending it to the inside, sending it to the line, of course. But yeah, FICO really pushing hard. Peanuts is going to go not into the pit lane. That is going to be, is that Ega Pro, the Aston, into the pit lane actually. And FICO, he's not going to be in the lead of the Grand Prix, but he's going to jump up to third, I believe, as the other cars will come out the pit lane. No, it's going to be very close, actually. We'll go on board with the man. You can see them to the right-hand side. He's not going to have DRS. He's going to use all the energy he possibly can, but he will not be able to pull alongside his teammate. His teammate doesn't have DRS either, so they are just running as they are. Almost goes into the back of him, does the Williams, of course, man. The Peanuts. He's on the 18 lap old hard tyre. He's not going to be any faster. I think he's going to let Korsman go through. And on that medium tyre Korsman is on a severe undercut, he might be fast enough to cause a bit of an upset to the battle. But the fresh medium tyres are going to be very superior, and these guys losing 3.2 seconds to Rouleton and Dave Raptors. That's not only the power of DRS, but that is the power of the undercut around this circuit. So wow, that is incredible. Will they be able to catch up? I think maybe if you don't pit earlier, you should always try and extend by maybe 3 laps, maybe even a little bit more, but they stay as they are. Heisler and Zingy not pitting yet, still 10 seconds behind Peanuts. And this battle, of course, as you can see, so yeah, pretty tough stuff for those guys having the issues at the beginning of the Grand Prix. Becken stays behind FICO. They know what they need to do. They've got 2 cars right behind them who are going to be pretty pacey, pretty feisty, so they need to try and create a gap as they were doing earlier on, and then try and think about the top 2. But I think the top 2 have absolutely pulled a blinder. They've got no time penalties either, so they've done a phenomenal job right here. Lap 20 out of 36, Dave Raptors leads the Grand Prix. Rouleton sits in P2 on that harder compound tyre at least, and they should be able to come back later on. So I think we're going to get a similar situation as we saw a while ago. I can't quite remember who it was. I think it was Brody and another car, and the slower car just held on in the DRS, used their tyres, and then later on, even though they were at a disadvantage, they were able to fight their way through. So I don't know, either driver could do a good job here, but we'll see. Rouleton can definitely come back, and it looks like he's not doing a bad job whatsoever, so he doesn't need to actually come back at Dave Raptors. He can just go for the move anyway. Now DRS to the inside line, sending it on the brakes. Back he'll go through is FICO, and that is not going to be Becken fighting it. Maybe he wasn't hoping that would happen. I think maybe he was hoping that he would be able to get a lap in front and just stay ahead and see what he could do, but FICO managed to find an opportunity that wasn't going to lose these guys too much time by going ahead. So it's not a problem whatsoever. Korsman does now lose DRS, unless they can find something in the final sector. They are going to lose out, and they will not be able to make any progress. So that is going to be them done. Igor Pro, though, he is pitted. He is 19 seconds behind Korsman. So that just shows how crucial it was to not have an issue early on in this Grand Prix. We get another switch. Becken goes to the outside line. FICO's going to let him go, and they will continue on their merry way. So this is the P3 and P4 battle. The top 2 are also doing exactly the same thing. Dave Raptor stays behind this time around. We're going to go on board with Heisler and Zingy for the first time in a while. That is going to be Zingy going for the fastest lap. He does also go for a time penalty at turn 1. He fancied a little bit of a disadvantage. That is going to be Heisler pushing for the energy, and Zingy is not really going to fight that one. He tucks into the inside, and yeah, they're going pretty quick at the moment, but at the moment their best bet is looking for Peanuts, who's 6.3 seconds in front. That is a massive gap. It's really not easy to use. That's Becken getting another time penalty in this Grand Prix. So that's a 6-second time penalty. FICO now all of a sudden has an advantage. He doesn't need to worry about staying in front of Becken. It's not a mind game battle anymore. He can just continue what he's doing. The top 2 are side by side into turn 3. Maybe not playing that quite so well regarding slipstream training, but 3 seconds advantage. I don't think they're really too worried about it. They've got a long way back behind them. So Rillaton stays behind, lets Dave Raptors do his thing. He's on the medium tyre. If he wants to use his tyres, he can use his tyres, and then Rillaton can fight back later. We don't see any switch-ups for a while, but we could see Igor have a look at the Mercedes of Peanuts within the next few laps. He's got that time penalty, so it's not exactly ideal, but Peanuts, did he just make that move, or is Igor trying to make the move? I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, they're close, and we could see a battle with these guys. The question is, will they be able to stick close together? But on very similar tyres, it's only 2 laps difference. Yes, it will play a big role later on in the Grand Prix, but for now, it's going to be pretty similar pace-wise. DRS available for Igor. He'll get a second dose of it as we get past the first corner, and then a third dose of it as we get past turn 3. But this is going to be the main overtaking opportunity. Then you've got to try and plan it right in the braking zone so you get DRS and secure the move. DRS available, no ERS needed. He's going to charge through. He's going to get to in front. He's still going to have to be slightly side by side and let Peanuts have some space. He's not going to get DRS himself. He's going to try and save it by using energy, but no, Peanuts will get through back immediately, and that is job sorted for Peanuts. I don't think Ego Pro is going to be able to get a switchback on that one. That's Peanuts going to be able to secure that. Very good stuff indeed. That is how it's done. That's textbook. Well held from Peanuts. 17.8 seconds from himself and the car ahead. It's going to be a tall order to try and catch up. We've got just over 10 laps to go of this Grand Prix. Top 2 running as they are. Dave Raptors almost made it completely change. He lost the rear like he has done a few times this season. Almost completely binned it all. But very well done, very well held. He is definitely putting on a show for us this season regarding rear losses. It just seems to be the way he likes his setups. High risk, high reward kind of stuff. It worked for him in F1.5. Hasn't worked quite so well at the moment in this short, brief moment of time. 9/10 is the gap now, so he is on a bit of a knife edge. He's in trouble. That is going to be, I believe, yep, PJ in the wall. That is going to be retirement, and Dave Raptors will get a bit of a shock, but it's going to be a full safety car deployed. All of a sudden, we almost went the entire race without a safety car, and that was PJ retiring just as they went to the pit lane entry. The safety car is deployed, everyone bunches up, and now we all get second opportunities. Time penalty wise though, that is going to be absolutely chaos and very, very heartbreaking for the likes of Fico, Beckham, Zingy and Tom Brainer. I'd say, to be honest, for Zingy and Tom Brainer, it's probably not so heartbreaking because these guys can catch up and get a second opportunity. But regarding Fico and Beckham, their time penalties, they had a gap between the other cars and themselves. They would have been able to make a difference with that gap, but now, unfortunately for them, it's all going to go away and they're all going to be stuck with each other. So they've got to try and make the most of it. Now, I assume everyone's going into the pit lane. It'd be pretty silly to not do so. So Rillaton will go in. I doubt anybody else will stay out. That is going to be Fico having to double stack with Rillaton, so I assume he's probably going to lose the position to Beckham. Korsman, he will not lose the position to. I would hope so, because he's quite a long way back, so these guys should get out the pit lane before Korsman does get through. Pretty short run to the exit. Of course, Beckham does get promoted a position. That's Dave Raptors on the medium tyre. Interestingly, Zingy and Heischler have not pitted yet, which I'm a little bit confused at. I think maybe they're thinking, you know what, we've got nothing to really lose by staying out a little bit longer, then we'll get some fresher tyres. Fair enough. If they want to do that, then they can do that, of course. But what they will choose, I don't know. I think he goes for the soft tyre. Interesting. He doesn't usually do this, but he seems to trust the process for now. And Heischler follows on. Only medium tyre runner is Dave Raptors in the rest of this Grand Prix. Other than that, it's a complete sprint to the end. Alrighty, we're back and almost ready to go racing once again. Got a little bit to go for now. We'll be going racing on lap 29 out of 36. I say that though, we do have Peanuts into the pit lane again, so I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. But he's going on to a set of used soft tyres. I don't know if he thought that he maybe had a set of fresh tyres that he was hoping that he could get on and use them better, but yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. So does mean that he's not going to be able to catch up to the safety car, and the cars will all have to go around one more time. So we'll go racing lap 30 and we'll get 7 laps of racing to the rest of the Grand Prix. So just over a 5-lap race kind of situation, which means it is going to be a little bit of rationing with the ERS, but it's going to be also pretty brutal at the same time. Everybody's going to be spamming it, and time penalties ultimately will come into play, and the grid will change up as soon as we cross the line. It's just who can stay close to one another and either get the gains or the losses from those time penalty deficits. The safety car will go around once again, of course, and then we will continue. No one going into the pit lane this time around, so it will be finally a green flag once we do get to lap 20. No, not 20. Lap 30 of the Grand Prix. So, yeah, not long to go. You can see the cars are all bunched up. Let's go on board to see what it looks like. Up the hill you go. You see the bundle of cars with the GT car up front. That is going to be the red safety car. That would be the Mercedes car as well. I can try and burn some fuel and warm those tyres up. I should say Peanuts, not Becken. They're both in the Mercedes, so my bad there. Dave Raptors sitting in P2. He's going to be the one to react to Rillaton. He's on the medium tyre, so I don't know. His tyres will be better at the very late stages of the Grand Prix, but I think he is going to be a bit of a sitting duck. I'm not entirely sure why he chose the medium tyre over the soft. Because I think as long as everybody's doing it, then you'll be absolutely fine. Everybody is doing it, but he's not doing it. There's the confirmation. We will be going racing, or not the confirmation, sorry. Yes, that was the confirmation. Sorry. Anyway, we continue. We will be going green flag racing once again. We're on board with Rillaton to get the restart going, and we will watch from the rear wing camera to see what this man can do. Can he go for another LSI win? It would be great to see him go for the restart already. Dave Raptors reacting perfectly to that restart. Very, very well done indeed. It couldn't have been pretty much any better. The others, they react not too bad either. FICO caught out slightly. Becken didn't react so well as Dave Raptors. That is going to be Zingy already looking for a move here on Igor into the first corner. They didn't go for the move into across the line. They will go for the move on the exit, but they will push him off a little little bit aggressively. Igor's going to lose 2-3 positions now because of that overtake. And Zingy is going to be a little bit under investigation there. Just about got my words out. Tom Brainer to the inside. He's trying to have a go on Heischler on the exit. He's still got a pretty good run. He's going to have to use a lot of energy if he does want to have a go, but no, that will be as it is. And Heischler will manage to maintain that position. But very good effort from Tom Brainer. He knows he has this one opportunity that he's got to try and take it. Becken losing out to the top two as they're running away with it a little bit here. So he's got to be careful. And FICO also, he has to be careful. He doesn't want to make a move and slow down Becken, but also he doesn't want to sit behind and lose out to the cars in front. DRS will kick in within the next few laps. And then it will be all over. The top two would run away with it. He's on the medium tyre, Dave Raptors. He should be possible to catch, but it doesn't look so like it's so straightforward. We've got Zingy in P6. He does have the time penalty plaguing him, but he's looking very quick. He's not going to be in a position to make an overtake. He's had to use a lot of energy already on the restart to challenge. Would he get it on the exit though? On the traction, on the throttle, control the traction. DRS not available, but a little bit of ERS to try and pick up the momentum. And now he's going to need all the confidence on the brakes if he does want to go for it. And he is going to go for it. Sends it to the inside. Will he get it on the Williams? He will just about. I don't know if there was contact, but he did yield in the end. Korsman had to give that one up. And yeah, massive send from Zingy. He knew what he needed to do, and he got the job done for now. He's got FICO up next. They're on exactly the same compound tyre, exactly the same Ada tyre, and they've only got two cars in front that don't have DRS. So if he gets DRS here, he could get a double slingshot. This could be a double overtake. That is unfortunately Eagle for a round. He will be down in 10. He'll still score a point as long as he finishes this Grand Prix. DRS available here. That is going to be FICO getting a perfect opportunity at making the move. He's not close enough though. This lap he will not be able to get the job done, and Zingy is only going to be able to catch up, and he might actually get this move done here on FICO. He would get the move done as well on Becken on time penalties. FICO finally goes through, Zingy's going to have to sit behind. This is a crucial turning point for his race, and you'll have to really think about this one. There's Heister in the background trying to have a go on Korsman. Korsman's not going to let it go easy, and Heister's going to have to tuck in behind. He'll sit where he is, and he can't do anything about that one. Very well defended there from the Williams driver. And Dave Raptors does lose out to DRS range, and that will allow now FICO to catch up, who's been unleashed into P3. Zingy, he's looking very hungry for it at the moment. He wants to get the move done on the Mercedes of Becken. Of course, getting redemption from back in Brazil when Becken won the race ahead of Zingy. But now it's not quite for the race win, but it is still a position, and it is still a valuable position. Lap 33 to 36, Zingy's got no straight line speed, he's got no energy left in that car. He's going to really have to think outside the box, and that is going to be Korsman missing his braking point. Heisch will go through. That'll be a very easy move, and a very close call. Even closer call, I should say. He'll come back at him though, P7 to P6, and he's just momentarily getting in front. Heischler will maintain that position. Loosey-goosey on the rear for the Williams, but no, it's going to be the McLaren on top, and I think that will probably be move sorted as long as he can get back into DRS. If he can't get into DRS, then it is going to be a bit more of a head-scratcher for the Papaya car. Zingy, he is so close to the back of that car, but he doesn't have any energy to deploy. And so far, Becken's been phenomenal on energy deployment in this Grand Prix, and it's definitely paying off pretty nicely. Dave Raptors losing out, and it is going to be a Ferrari 1-2. We've got the inside line for Becken. That's going to make him struggle on the exit. He completely mess that one up, and that is going to be Dave Raptors looking to try and go back through again. Zingy's going to be invited to the party within the next few laps. That is absolutely heartbreaking. Becken down to P9 after fighting for the podium positions. He just tried to have a look to the inside. It was put offline, tried to go back on the throttle as usual, and it was never going to work. Zingy finds himself in P4, and he might, if he can get in front of FICO, be able to go for that P3, for that podium. He needs to make 2 overtakes in just over 2 laps. Can he get the job done? He's basically pushing Dave Raptor through the corners. I don't know if he hit him or not. That is Dave Raptor's round. He's going to lose out to P2. Zingy, he's going to get a very, very good opportunity at going for the move here. But now, because these guys have slowed each other down, Korsman's now back into DRS range. And he is actually going to have a very good look at himself getting a podium. But no, he's got the time penalty, so we'll go to Heischler. Heischler will have a very good look at it. But will he fight or not? I don't know. Heischler's going to have to try and make a move and not allow Korsman to put him off, but he does have DRS, Korsman, so it's not actually that easy to make a move regardless. No DRS here for Zingy. He's got no energy left after fighting. He was relying on that DRS train. He's now got no DRS, whereas Korsman has got DRS. They're both on the same time penalties. Korsman might actually manage to get Zingy here if Zingy's not careful. He's going to have the lap of his life at this stage. Rillaton, loving life, been pretty much released, and he can relax to the end, and it's going to be a Ferrari 1-2, the first Ferrari 1-2 for a very, very long time. Another time penalty for Zingy, and then the first time penalty for Heischler. All of a sudden Korsman is on top of this again. He can now do a very good job. Peanuts might actually get involved in this one. He might be able to get Heischler as long as he can just keep it together, keep it tidy. But I don't know. Would he be able to get Zingy? I don't think he will. He's going to be a bit too far back, unfortunately. He can still give a good shot, though. It's going to be close. That is for sure. Would anybody else try and go for a move? Would Tom Brainer have a look at Peanuts? They would actually have a look at Peanuts. That is going to be heartbreaking because Peanuts will now be not able to break away as easily and catch up to the cars in front. So in the end, these guys are going to fight unnecessarily and actually lose out to the cars ahead. So that is going to be such a shame. I'm sure Peanuts is going to be pretty disappointed with that one. He'll still fight back if he can. We've got Rillaton, though, come around the final few corners. Zingy is trying his best to hold on in front of Korsman. Korsman is just about letting it go, but that is going to be Heischler coming through to the inside. He gets through. Perfect job from him. He's going to secure that move. Rillaton comes around the final corner to win the Austrian Grand Prix, and FICO makes it a 1-2 for Ferrari. Zingy will get P3, but that is going to be Korsman who will come out on top. No, it is Heischler, sorry. Heischler gets the podium. Peanuts did it in the end. He managed to get the job done by a tenth of a second. Almost lost it out to fighting with Tom Brainer, but he just did enough. In the final moments, 3/10 on Tyus Korsman and Heischler with that 1-2-1. Perfect job. Peanuts, well done, my friend. That was not easy right there at the end. A fastest lap for Beckens as he pits for the soft tyres. Eager Pro will finish in P9 and score 2 points. Dave Raptor's retiring from the race. Rillaton is back. Can't seem to get away from Swedish domination, to be honest. So everywhere we go, FICO, driver of the day. And then we'll get the results on the screen. And of course we'll do the usual stuff. Rillaton takes the win, FICO P2, Peanuts in P3. Then we got Heischler, Tyus Korsman, Zingy, Tom Brainer, Beckham with fastest lap, Eager Pro, and then classless finish would be Dave Raptor scoring 1 point, and PJ, Pastun and Nifajan DNFing earlier on in the race. We'll skim through the race director, we'll skim through the instance section, and we'll skim through the pit stop section as we always should do, as we usually do. There you go. We'll be back for the post-race interview, so we'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Austrian Grand Prix. We start the interviews with Fico. Fico, you made that a 1-2 for Ferrari for the first time in a long time. I don't think I've seen that for a while in LSI. Welcome back, and obviously you raced last weekend, but you did a very good job today. That was not an easy race, technically wise. Can you take us through it?
Yes, actually it was pretty impressive. I got asked by Ferrari to jump in like 5 minutes before the race. A little bit surprised that I got the invite, but let's go. We joined it and we started on a little bit on purpose on P10. Did not set a qualifying lap, and then in the race we just fought through a lot of people and even made a triple overtake in one corner and P1. I think that summons it a bit. Yeah.
Sorry, I think you just lost a little bit of that. Can you say that again?
Okay. From where? Like all of it? Or?
You made a triple overtake and then it cut out.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can, yes.
Sorry, you made a triple overtake and then it just cut out from there on.
Okay, no problem. I think in lap 2 of the race I made a triple overtake in turn 4, which was actually pretty insane. And then basically we went in a 4 car train to the end basically. And it was very difficult, and I got very lucky with the overtakes and with the opportunities I got in the race, and I wasn't fast enough to challenge Ruditon today, but maybe another time.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. You managed to make it through, and that's a skill in its own, so you very well deserved. You deserve that P2. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
No practice P2.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great to see you.
Thank you.
And we move on to Heisler. Heisler, that was a hectic race, making moves at the very end there. Very, very, very difficult to get through. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, it was. I had really unlucky wing damage at turn 3 on lap 1. Like I took it slow, but even then, everyone was going so slow and just tapped the car in front in a wrong way. So that was sad, and then Singy had an incident as well. So we were just together, trying to work a little bit together and catch up to the rest. But we obviously knew that we only would catch up to Igor and Peanuts, I believe it was. Then the safety car came, changed everything, and I was in a good position with only 1 warning and yeah, so no penalty. So I hoped I could keep that, but sadly got a bit too much carried away with pace and dirty air, which caused me to get another 2 warnings. So that whole penalty advantage went out of the window, and then yeah, not sure what not sure from what happened on like the last few laps with Singy and Fla, and then in the end with me as well. But yeah, I've seen that Fla already wanted to report a certain contact moment, so I counted it down, and I will probably still be P5, so that means I luckily have P2 in the standings, I believe.
Fair enough. Well deserved. Well done. Very good job. Thank you very much.
Without a podium. Without a podium.
Thank you very much, Heisler, for this season. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Nice ending.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
And we move on to Nifo Jan. Nifo, that was a heartbreaking moment. Connection issues, and then game bug, game over.
Yeah, it wasn't even connection issues. The game just crashed, and I tried to rejoin. I got the same thing Zingy had, I think a week ago, where it didn't really I couldn't take control of the car. Basically, it didn't give me the lights. So then I left the lobby again, and then joined again, and then I heard from the guys that my car retired on its own. So yeah, that's great. probably a good way to end the season. I think it's a fitting end to the season I've had, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look back at some moments, Qatar double DNF, some races just stupid mistakes and a bit unlucky. Sometimes there's a bit of contact losing. Good results. Yeah, it's been a tough ride. Gijs deserves P2, but yeah, I've been really bad this season. So yeah, I'm a bit sad. Of course, I don't get P2, and I didn't get to show what I had today. Even with no practice, I was still confident I could get some points and secure the P2. But yeah, even that has to be taken away from me. So yeah, this game cycle is going better and better the longer it goes on, I guess.
So this season's over. You can start from a clean slate. Do you feel that you're happy with the learning that you did at the start of this game and throughout this game so far?
I'm happy with the learning, but I think I've hit a plateau now. I don't think I'll improve more than I have already now. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck. We'll just have to see next season, but I don't have much hope.
I don't think so. I think you've got more to come. We've seen your pace. It's been pretty good in certain areas, so it will eventually get there. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much, Niffa. One last question. How would you describe what you can of the race that you had in 3 words?
Well, very a word I can't say short.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Great effort. And we move on to Peanuts. Peanuts, what happened there? Early pit stop, and it kind of just didn't pick up. I mean,
I didn't really have a pit stop. I got a drive-through, and then the race was over from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't really do anything. Bad pace, but somehow got away with the luckiest 3rd place I'm probably ever gonna get.
I mean,
that's pretty
you did a very good job. Were you worried that you're going to lose that P3 with the battle with Tom at the end?
I didn't even know I was fighting for P3, but I thought I was losing P5, to be honest.
Fair enough.
But I was like saying what pretty much because I didn't really understand what was going on. I did not deserve the P3 today. I mean, I was bottling too much. I mean, yeah.
The game's the game. You got to be in it. You got to be in it to win it without the time penalties as well. Do you think this prepares you well for tomorrow?
Definitely. I mean, it was really good practice. Now I know that getting a drive-through will actually hurt my race, not help it. You learn all the time, so I'm definitely going to build on this. I was really sad what happened in Belgium because I really felt like I could have gotten the boys in front of me, but then I was collected and innocent.
Yeah, it was a shame to see, but you get a second opportunity tomorrow. Good luck. I hope it goes well. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Lonely, lonely, and lonely.
Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Well done today. It's lonely and P3. Thank you very much. We move on to Rouleton. Rouleton, welcome back. Welcome back to the top step as well. You've won again. Can you take us through that one? Was it not too difficult, or was it a little bit more complex with the long train that you had, at least for the first stint?
Yeah, it was quite difficult in the first stint because it was like literally impossible to get out of the DRS. That thing is just like a, I don't know, 200 horsepower boost or something. But I just tried to keep cool. I did get 2 warnings early on, which kept me like right on my toes the entire race. But luckily, because I've got like 1.5k hours now, I had the experience to not get another warning and therefore not get a penalty. And then it was just to bring it home because I felt like I had great pace and my straight line speed was really good actually.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Well said.
It's a
Well said.
fun race as well. Very fun race.
Strategy. It looked pretty straightforward. Did you consider at all going onto the medium tyre, Or do you think Dave Raptors was really going on a bit of a weird one there?
Well, I think he could have. He could, if he managed to stay in the DRS, he probably could have made it work. And my strategy was just to push all my ERS in the first 2 laps and try to get out DRS, which I managed to do
Fair enough.
as well. So that was good.
Well done. High risk, high reward. Well done, Rillaton. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Ferrari on top.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
And we move on to Tom Brainer. Tom Brainer, nice little battle at the end there. Do you think you're ready for tomorrow? It was it was pretty lonely at certain parts, but you got some overtaking at least.
Yeah, I think for tomorrow I'm pretty good prepared. Today I just got a great first lap, I would say. Losing everything on the first lap and then just driving on my own for comparison of the lap times, and just thought, yeah, trying to keep the penalties as low as possible, and then there were the softs at the end.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, it worked in the end for a battle, and I hope it goes well tomorrow. Honestly, you deserve for it to go well tomorrow. Season finale. You can do it. Podium minimum. Go on. Thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
No softs tomorrow.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And that's been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow for the Austrian Grand Prix for the F1.5 Championship. We will not see you next weekend because that will be the end of the season. This will be the end of the season, and that will be time for the winter break. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, we'll see you tomorrow for the final goodbyes. First of all, I should say, though, very close to 1,000 subscribers, so thank you very much, everybody, for the support so far. Can we reach it by Sunday? I would love to see that. But also, congratulations, Zingy, you have won the championship. Congratulations, AlphaTauri, you have won the championship. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow. Good night.